Caitlin, can you give us your perspective on the last play?
I haven't watched it yet.
Quit calling the plays, all right?
You got to listen and you got to execute.
I already feel good about me. I'm good. Just call it.
The New York Liberty defeated Indiana Fever today. It was a close contest. Final score 90-88. Game was back and forth. It was a thriller. It was a barn burner. New York Liberty second quarter, they put it on Indiana. Jonquel Jones got started early, had the Liberty up to 9 points at the half. The Fever battled back in the third quarter, taking an 8-point lead, which was capped off by Caitlin Clark's logo three at the end of the third quarter. Got them a little bit of momentum, but they didn't keep it for long. Jonquel Jones led the team with 26 points, 12 rebounds, and it was Jonquel who led the team back with back-to-back threes in the fourth to take the lead. Aaliyah Boston was good for Indiana. She was the standout, 27 points, 13 rebounds. Caitlin Clark added 18 points and 10 assists, but you got to give her that triple-double because she also had 10 turnovers. The Fever struggled mightily in the fourth quarter, shooting a miserable 22.7% as a team versus New York's 43.8%. New York was getting it done on the floor. Indiana's defense was solid in the fourth, but they could not convert on the other end. They were getting stops, but they could not get shots on the other side. They had plenty of opportunities to make shots. They were getting open shots. They just weren't falling. Kelsey Mitchell had trouble. Aaliyah Boston had trouble. Caitlin Clark had trouble, all in the fourth quarter. And they were missing a lot of shots in the paint. In that particular time, when you are down low, you cannot miss those shots, especially when you get a stop on the other end. So that was on the Fever trying to get it done in the paint. That wasn't an X's and O's thing. That was the women on the court for Indiana not being able to drain their shots. New York gets a questionable no call on DeWanna Bonner going to the basket with like 11 seconds left. That should have been a call. They got away with that one. That was a clear foul, knocked her down. She was going up for the hoop on the baseline, and they just didn't call it. They had been calling the game very tight, mostly up to that point. But it was still a huge discrepancy with free throws.
I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. You know, a minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing, you know, that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways. But we also can't allow that to consume us, right? Like, we've got to be able to play through that. We've got to be able to control the things that we can control.
New York got to the line 32 times. Indiana only went to the line 15 times. After that no call on DeWanna Bonner, Sabrina Ionescu gets the ball back, drives the lane, gets fouled by Lexi Hull. Now, many thought that Stephanie White should have challenged this call because Lexi Hull had both her hands up, and you can see Ionescu gets low and leans into Lexi Hull and initiates the foul. I thought Stephanie White was going to challenge this, but she uses her last timeout, her sixth timeout, right after that play. If she would have challenged it and lost it, she would not have been able to call timeout and get the ball on the other side. She would have had to bring the ball up with 2.7 seconds left, the full length of the court. And obviously she didn't want to do that. So she kept that challenge in her pocket. And thinking about it like that, it was probably a good decision. Natasha Cloud, solid game, 16 points, but it was her defense that stood out. Natasha Cloud had 16 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. She got it done on defense, specifically the last play of the game, the inbound play by the Indiana Fever, 2.7 seconds left on the clock. Natasha Cloud denies Caitlin Clark an opportunity to get a game-winning shot. She nicked the ball away when Caitlin Clark was trying to come back the other way and create some space so she could get a shot off. She thought it should have been a foul. Honestly, I thought it was a good play. She had her arm underneath because Caitlin tried to push off a little bit and she slipped her arm underneath. She never really fouled her, but when Caitlin came back, she just kind of knocked the ball out of her control and she never got the shot off. I think it was more egregious that the call on DeWanna Bonner was a no call. more than that one, because if DeWanna Bonner gets that call, she's shooting free throws to take the lead. So that could have changed the, what New York may have done. But at the end of the day, they didn't get the call. That's the way it goes. You can't blame it on the refs. You can only control what you can control. And guess what? New York showed why they are champions. Jonquel Jones showed why she was the MVP in the finals last year. New York is a tough team to beat. The one silver lining you can take out of this for Indiana is, in spite of everything, in spite of missing all of those shots in the fourth quarter, they still had an opportunity to take that game at the end. Shots just didn't fall.